scripture for our mission trip was Micah 6:8. The themes of that passage are justice, mercy, and humility. Christian 8 and 9 will be talking about each one of the themes and relating an experience from Belize to each one. So I'll be talking about justice. Justice is a quality of upholding what is right, caring for the vulnerable, showing generosity, and most importantly, reflecting the character of God. An experience of justice while we were in Belize was the opportunity to give to others, repaying for all the good we have. We are all fortunate to have the education we have here in Canada, and it was great to be able to contribute towards the education and well-being of others. With the amazing support and generosity the school receives, they are able to sustain what they have and grow. We heard about the dreams these children have, and even though we are one of many churches and groups that have an impact on the school, the help we give still opens their future even wider in terms of what they can accomplish. This experience has had an impact on me because by reflecting God's character, I have been able to contribute to someone else's future in some way. To know these children could become astronauts, doctors, or even future world leaders, it brings me such a gratifying feeling. A feeling that has brought me closer to God, showing me that material possessions often cover up what truly matters, such as intellectual, cultural, and spiritual values. This project has taught me that the amount of compassion you can show is endless. I am so grateful for this trip and for the people I've been able to share it with. It has inspired me to accomplish my own goals and dreams in life. Now I'll pass you over to Christian.
Feeling mercy means to feel compassion. I couldn't help but feel compassion for those that lived in San Pedro, Belize. I saw plenty of poverty and dilapidated housing. I've seen the same before growing up in the States, and some here in Canada as well, but somehow it appeared more significant being in a different country. I felt compassion for those people knowing that after our trip, I'm coming home to a welcoming house with plenty of amenities, air conditioning, electricity, clean water, and not to mention Wi-Fi. I was fortunate enough to meet some great people on our trip. I especially want to mention the 2 young boys that actually lived at the school where we did work. They were amazing, and reflecting on our meeting, I felt joy. Not necessarily mercy, only because I felt they were in a happy place. They were unknowing of the nicer things they were missing out on, and they were excited to have us there as visitors. I felt I was doing something important and making a difference, maybe for the first time in my life. I realized it was important to give back to those less fortunate for the first time in my life. I realized how truly blessed we are. It was extremely remarkable to witness the joy of people and the love they have, especially given their dire circumstances. I am inspired by their courage and zest for life. It made me realize how much we take for granted. It also made me realize what is really important: family, friends, and the joy in life. My parents always say the most important things in life have no price. I think I now understand what they mean. We worked the whole week with another church from Virginia, and we formed a bond with them as well. They seemed to help break up the work. We mainly painted classrooms, hallways, and windows. Besides that, each of us took a suitcase full of supplies to help with the school. Though it sounds insignificant, it was very much needed and appreciated. Looking back on Belize, mercy started in my heart, but I left there feeling very proud and fulfilled. I am truly blessed to have had this experience. I left feeling that I gained much more than I gave. It is an experience I will carry with me for the rest of my life.
Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Matthew 5. Humility, a modest or low view of one's own importance, being respectful of others and free from pride, arrogance and vanity, putting others before yourself. During our mission trip to Belize, we often talked about what it meant to walk humbly with God. For me, I felt humbled by having the opportunity to do God's work in a country that does not have the same standard of living as the country where I come from, in a school that does not have all the bells and whistles that mine does, and among people who do not have the same opportunities in life that I do. One of my first humbling experiences in Belize was on the second day of our trip. Saturday morning, we left our hotel early for Holy Cross School and immediately got to work on painting some of the classrooms. Most of them were quite small, had rusted and broken chairs and desks, and were shabby looking. They definitely were in need of a new coat of paint. The school sat next to a dirty lagoon, and there was garbage and construction materials scattered throughout the property. I thought about my own school back home and how we had an endless supply of books, paper, and writing instruments, comfortable seats and desks, brand new computers and iPads, loads of gym equipment, and a safe environment to learn in. I felt grateful for this and realized that it is easy to take these things for granted in our part of the world. I also realized that despite of all the fancy classrooms and learning tools we have here in Canada, education begins simply with a book, pencil, paper, and a teacher. The students of Holy Cross at least had these and they were proud of it. Walking around San Mateo was an eye-opener for me. The houses were small and run down. There were piles of garbage and old appliances scattered everywhere. It smelled bad. Children ran around in dirty clothes and bare feet. Dogs roamed through the mountains of garbage. It was nothing like Oakville. People lived in extreme poverty. Again, I thought about how lucky I was back home. But the children seemed happy and were laughing and having fun, riding their bikes, playing soccer, and jumping into the ocean. People in San Pedro did not seem to be ashamed of their homes, but proud of what they had because they had a roof over their heads and a safe place for their family to live and eat. It was humbling to see that they could be so happy with so little material things. It helped me to realize that I should not take these things for granted. People always said hello to us and stopped us on the streets during our stay. They asked us if we were working at Holy Cross and thanked and blessed us before going on their way. They were grateful to us for giving our time and energy to help make Holy Cross a better place for the children and communities of San Pedro. But I feel that they were helping me more than I helped them. The people there are very spiritual. They don't hide their faith. One of the most important things to the people of Belize is God, not money or possessions. This is very different from the way people live in North America. It is easy to think that we are better than them because we have a higher standard of living. But I think we can learn from the people of Belize to put our faith in God more often and by making Him a priority in our lives. Something I believe we don't do enough of here. Even though many of these people lived in poverty, their lives still seem very full, and that I found truly humbling. I'd like to conclude with a short passage from St. Paul's letter to the Philippians, which I think helps to sum up our mission trip. Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others. Thank you.